What is going on, everybody? Welcome to another week of PGA golf. Came a little short. I finished 18th in the big giant $5 one last week and had an actual real run and a chance to win it. So we basically just played the guys who we talked about on the show for the most part, Sheets, and ready to get back after it this week.
Yeah, I made money in just the greatest way humanly possible. I played the biggest buy-in and I cashed by one placement going 4 for 6. Thank you. 4 for 6 made the cut, and it's an incredible sweat because like I had the guys who were like first and second like the whole time. So you start off like thinking you have a chance, like you're in 8th place after cut day, but you know you have no chance. You have 4 guys.
Right.
And then even after like the 3rd day, I'm still in like 18th or something like that. And then you just got to hang on like those last, and I literally hung on by like one hole when everybody else is kind of like all these holes remaining. So I was able to get that done. So we're ready for another week.
All right, let's start it. Let's get it started off. We'll do it by tiers as usual, and then we'll talk about maybe some construction and stuff as we go along. All right, over 10K interest. How are we gauging this? Is it? I see in your build right there.
Don't think about it that way. This is just a lineup here. So here's my I would say my issue. So I almost always just kind of gravitate towards the middling builds. Mm-hmm. However, just the few, again, I don't want to get into all of like the nuts and bolts of it, but some of my better plays are actually like cheaper than 7K sort of. And I like these top guys a little more than normal. So I'm gonna probably play them. So in this is just my order, right? So for me, I'm not gonna play Rahm, but I am gonna play Thomas. Like Thomas is my favorite of the 10K and up guys. And what this is like combining like just about projections and ownership and just other stuff, just like kind of like the end result of that. So for me, like Thomas, even though like 20% or so is not not low owned, it's low enough for me for him. So I like Thomas. There's one guy who I think is going to be much higher owned than, so I got to keep an eye on that. But it's a really, really good course and a really good setup for Webb Simpson. And if he's only 15, 16, 17% owned, I'll probably try it. But I just got to keep an eye on that. So I'm not playing Rahm. I'm not playing, and I'm definitely playing Thomas. I'm not going to be playing Xander, and I am not going to be playing Rory. So from up the top, I'm going to be playing Thomas and Webb Simpson, and I do like both of them. And I like Thomas. I like Thomas a lot, actually.
Yeah, Thomas is my favorite at the top too.
Nice.
Close. I have it very close between he and Rahm personally.
Okay.
I do like Rahm quite a bit, and the thing is, I like Schauffele a lot in these spots. I just feel like I'd rather take a shot on those two guys like running away with the tournament rather than a guy I know is going to be sort of in the middle of things. And and Rahm and Thomas sort of have that upside. I'm probably not going to be able to get to Rory because I like both those guys, but I don't think he's a bad play either. I'm not going to play Webb because again I'm playing those guys. But I understand what you're saying about course fit and all that. I just think I'm going to jump on down to the next level after Rahm and Thomas for the most part.
Yeah, that sounds good. Is there anybody at the? Oh yeah, I was just the only 2 guys between there are Webb and Ward. Okay, so 9K, like my top 9K guy or nine. When I say 9K, I mean anything from 9,000 to 9,900, right?
Right.
Or 9,800. Given ownership and everything, is probably Hideki. I think Hideki at between 10 and 15% is probably my favorite of those. And the next one is probably, and again, it's not as clear cut for me this week as I was last week, even though I didn't do the great last week. I like English and I like Im. I'm not going to play, and the lower owned guy is Scheffler. So I'll play Scheffler 9,100. I'm not going to, I thought I was going to like Berger, but I wasn't the only one, and he's going to come like 25% owned. So I'm not going to play him. So for me, it's English, Matsuyama, Im, and then Scheffler.
Yeah, Burger's a little too consistent for me, so I am gonna eat that chalk a little bit. So I have got Burger. Who else do I have in here? So I have Burger, Matsuyama, uh, Harris English, and then I'm playing Zalatoris again.
I was going to ask you about him.
He's just there all the time, and I know some of them are not, haven't been always been here. He looked good last week again too. Almost won me everything with that big eagle on nearly.
Yeah, I saw it.
Nearly the really big on 18, but I thought that was going to launch me. But I think those are my favorite guys in this range. I just should. I feel like I always need to mention Ryan Palmer because I feel like he's just always there. Like,
yep.
And they are pricing him up now, but he's been pretty good. And 3 top 11s in his last his last 4 tournaments. So I understand the Scheffler thing at low ownership, but mostly I can't play everybody. So it's going to be Zalatoris, English, Berger, Matsuyama. Maybe I'll have him somewhere, but that's mostly going to be it, and maybe a Palmer or 2.
Okay, so now is where we get to usually the range where I just like love everybody.
This is Sheets' range right here for sure.
But not today. This week I only like 4 guys, and one of them's a little too popular for me. So I like only 3 guys total in this 8K range, and the one that's in here in this lineup right now, I might get off of the Henley just because of ownership. I have to I gotta double check it. But the guys I do like, I'll go back to the guy who literally is the only guy that didn't make the cut for me at all. Like all my buy-ins was Billy Horschel. He's 8,400. Now just keep in mind, again, I've been tracking this stuff. Remember I mentioned that Schauffele is a guy who usually gets more ownership than we think. Last week, the biggest criminal as far as that goes was Horschel. He got about 5% more ownership than everybody was expecting at every site.
Which actually more, it means like double the ownership almost, basically, right? He was like,
right.
Like 12%?
No, no, it depends what buy-in, but so just keep in mind that you're not necessarily, I'm seeing him at 8-9%. So I'm expecting probably get a little worse than that. But so he's my favorite of that range. And then 2 other guys actually I played last week are in there too. It's Fowler at 8,600 and Brian Harman, who just always seems to be do just enough for me. So for me, it's those 3 guys, and then the next guy would be Henley, I'll throw him in there. So I'll do those 4. So Henley, Fowler, and the other 2 guys I mentioned, Horschel and whatever else I said. Sorry.
No, you're good. No interest in Brian Harman?
Yeah, that's what I said.
Oh, you did? Okay, yeah. Because I like Brian Harman a little bit.
Yeah.
It seemed like a good course for Bubba. He didn't play particularly well last week, but he's somebody. Look, Matt Wolff is going to be completely unowned, and I understand how much he struggled, but I will completely take shots on guys who have a couple bad weeks and just bet on the long-term potential, and just take a guy who I just think is, at 8,700. A couple weeks ago, we would have thought this was nuts.
Yep.
Horschel, I agree, interesting. But again, I'm not like in love with this range either. I feel like I have a bunch of guys I have mild interest in, but nobody I'm like completely locked into at all. Probably the biggest interest is somewhere between Horschel, Siwoo Kim, Brian Harman, Henley, and Watson. It's pretty close between those guys. I don't love any of them, so I'll probably just side with ownership.
No, only because it's free. Only because it's on his free on the free part of his site. Can I? Will I mention this?
Yeah.
So Rick was on our site a couple of weeks ago. And I always like listening to what he has to say.
Mm-hmm.
And two of his sneaky ones are Wolf and Bubba, by the way.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah. 2 of the guys you just mentioned.
I like that.
It's kind of is kind of like weird for me to not like the 8K range more. So I don't know how that's going to translate, but that's just kind of where I'm at.
Yep, I hear you. But the 7K range is a little bit more interesting for me, at least. Where are you sort of landing here?
Yeah, my favorite 2 guys in this, unfortunately, well, I like 3 guys a lot, and one of them is going to be lower owned than the others. I can't imagine why, but okay. So one guy I like who's probably going to be owned is On at 7,300. He's going to have double-digit ownership, but I do like him. Another one who's going to get double-digit ownership, who's probably too chalky for me to play, is Corey Connors. But I don't know, man. One of my favorites, this ownership just can't. But he's got to be double digits. Is Sebastian Munoz? He's he's probably my favorite of those given ownership. I mean, 5 to 10% is fine by me. So for me, it's on Connors and Munoz. My next guy I don't play, which is Day. I'm not playing Burns at 15%. And
I will play Burns.
Let's go.
I just keep playing Burns, man. Like he's been, he was really good to me last week, really bad the week before.
Yep.
I have interest in on. I like John Huh. I'm just going to keep playing him.
There he is. Let's keep playing him. He makes every cut. Right?
Ride the guy who just always seems to be around. I just think he's better than people think he is. The weird ones for me here are, I always like playing Brendan Todd at lower ownership than I feel like he should be, because he always, he's sort of always in the thick of it, even on like courses that shouldn't fit him. But other than that, I do like the chalkier guys with Burns and Connors, who was my guy who made me sweat all week last week.
Yeah.
Jeez. And then Homa.
Ooh, that's right. Did he win the other? No, he was in contention for one.
No, he just played well. He was on my team also, on the one that almost won it. Brendan Steele is another guy who I've come across, but again, I can't play everybody, but I do like this range better than the other ranges. So, and I totally agree about Munoz. Munoz, let's see, Steele. One other guy, Adam Hadwin, I'll have a tiny bit of. So Sam Burns and Corey Connors, and I mentioned Ortiz, right? Ortiz is the one Ortiz is the one I probably like the best versus the ownership.
Okay, yeah, he'll be under 10%.
Yeah.
Okay, so I usually like one guy under 7K, and this week I like 6. So ooh. God help me, I guess. And they're all very familiar names, by the way, from every other week where I come up with. Usually it's just one of these guys each week, and now they're all in there. So you guys can always predict it. One is Kevin Streelman.
I knew you were going to say that one.
Yep. Another one is Cameron Tringali.
Mm-hmm.
Another one is Ryan Moore. Another one is Lucas Glover. And then the two. I mean, we're gonna try Mr. Redmond at 6,600. And the other guy all the way is the 0% on. Boy, he's actually 5% this week. Is Matt Jones. So any of those 6 I like, and like they were ranking like my top 25, which never happens. Do I get that many up there? So that's the only reason I mention it.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm going to probably be playing some lineups with both Thompson and Webb, with Thomas and Webb together maybe, or Thomas and even Hideki, because I'm going to play these guys, and you know what? It'll be quick and painless. So if they won't make the cut, I won't have to worry about it.
Yeah, I like the guys you mentioned mostly. I like Redmond. I know he hasn't looked at himself, but I still think that he's a better golfer than this price. And I think that he's, I'm not going to fall into the just totally over the top recency bias that people do in DFS golf. Yep. So I like him. Patrick Rogers is the other one who you didn't mention. I agree about Glover. Streelman, Jones, or Dahman. I have some interest in each of them. I was even sort of flirting with the Fratelli thing, but I think I like too many other guys in this range. Sam Ryder is another one who showed up for me, and Keith Mitchell, but I don't feel like incredibly strong about those last 2. Oh, the other in terms of, hey, we'll play the young guys until they start getting there. He started off really hot and didn't quite keep it the whole last week, but Will Gordon.
Okay.
So those are my guys. Do you want to go through our normal, what do we do? Pick the 8K, 9K, and then.
Yeah. So let's start with who's going to win.
Okay. So I will, I like Justin Thomas. I like Justin Thomas and John Rahm. So you can take Thomas, and I'll take Webb Simpson. I'll actually take Rahm. I'll go ahead and take Rahm. Go ahead. All right. Okay. You're taking Webb. Okay, cool. And next way down. Top 5.
So now for anything under, 9K and up has to be top 5, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I will go. Yeah, who needs 9,800? I'll take English 9,300.
Actually, that's who you're going to take. I'll take Berger.
Okay. So for under 9K, it's got to be top 10, right?
Yep.
All right, let's do it.
Okay. I'll go with. Boy, since you told me about that Rick Rungood, now I kind of want to go with Wolf. But this
Dude,
is
you can't because Wolf's going to win the whole tournament. I think so. I mean, why can't he win?
Oh, anything under 9K. I'll go with Max Homa.
Yeah, but why can't he win, Wolf?
He can.
I think that's a great play. Actually,
I agree too. I think we really should get on that.
I'm gonna play him. I'm gonna go with Billy Ho for under 9K.
Okay. I'll take. I already took him. So.
Yep.
And then we have one under 6K guy who's going to be a top 20 for us, or something like that.
No, under 8K for top 20, and then under 7K to make the cut.
Okay. I'll take.
So under 8K, I'm gonna go first. I'm gonna go Sebastian Munoz.
Okay, I'll take. I'll just take the other two. I'll take Carlos Ortiz.
And then for my under 8, so for my under 7K, I'm gonna try to like shake up the mojo a little bit. Can't just keep saying Streelman. You know what I mean? I can't. Let's introduce like a new guy.
Okay, I'll go.
Redmond's totally the play, but I'm gonna introduce Matt Jones. So I'm gonna introduce Matt Jones to the mix.
I will take Patrick Rogers.
By the way, I will tell you guys something. This is me admitting something. You know, when I first started with DFS, and before I even knew how to put a spreadsheet together or figure out correlations and do anything, you know what I would do? I'm telling you, I would talk to Bobby on the phone, right? And before I would do that, I would listen to the morning grind, right? And they would have this thing at the end, like a morning grind game, where they would have like their best picks or whatever. And I would just literally just play those. I'd play those guys. I'd make sure those were in there. And then whoever Bobby liked, I'd play them in there. And then I would put my own picks in, and then I would lose. But that's like the way that I'd figure it out. I'm telling you, bet you guys could probably do worse. You take our top 7K guy, the top 8K guy, top 9K, top 10K, top 11K guy, you know, 1 6-person lineup, and take home all the cheese.
There you go. Let us know about it if it works out too. We definitely want to hear about it.
Oh, I'll remember, believe me.
All right, Sheets. Anything else before we get out of here?
No, all good.
All right, guys. Hey, good luck to everyone this weekend. Hopefully somebody has like a big sweat, and share it with us if you do. For Sheets, I'm Bobby saying good luck, everybody.
All right.